introduce our award recipients tonight. Don really has worked tirelessly to really for his union membership to get them access to mental health and substance use treatment. He took his own experience and he has helped thousands of individuals and families recover from mental health and substance use. He definitely deserves that celebration tonight. Last year, he and many people in this room were able to bring 2 beers into the labor unions, into their member assistance program, in a program called LEAN STL that you can read about in your program. But he'll tell you a little bit about it. But really what I want you guys to know is that they're leading the way in this. So they have peer support in a employee assistance program, basically. And that's the first of very few programs out there that is like that. So this is the first that is going to be the domino that starts to put peers into our business community, our corporations, and all over the place. And I think it's really going to make a difference to help people recover. So John actually kind of wanted to introduce you. He said this has been a long time coming, and you deserve recognition. But my introduction is this. I wanted to thank you for all I've learned from you. But one of the biggest things I've learned is that you just gotta stick your nose into conversations, ask questions, and demand answers. And I think that's what this field needs. So thank you very much. I'm gonna give you the stage.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. As I look around, I see a lot of you kind of in dues. Pay up. And if you don't know, I used to be the head of this local here. That's the fun of the fun.
Microphone.
Right here. I want to start by paying a memoriam to Ed Smith, CEO and Chairman of LiUNA. Ed Smith has been an avid advocate of working families and just John Q and John Jane public that need a second chance. And anytime I've asked Ed Smith to help out in this cause, other causes, he's always been there, no questions, and he's ready to go with whatever I've asked. He's been a friend and a fearless leader of the working families, and I just wanted to brief moment of silence and he's been one of the largest contributors to this cause, to ARCHway. So just take a few seconds and put his family and him in your thoughts and prayers. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, how I got this to St. Louis, what the guys' duties are, what the process was in doing this, and I'm going to do the most important thing. There's a lot of people in the room that need to be thanked for making this happen. This lean STL and what's happened. And it's good exercise to get off your butt now and then. So if I mention your name, please stand up and up down. Prevents blood clots. So the history of lean, the biggest co-conspirator in this room here is John Ball. John Ball. Master of apprenticeship, industrial education, went to high school with me. If he was ever in my class, he was usually in the cell class. I didn't get He and I, with the funds of the St. Louis Welfare Plan, paid my way to a symposium in Washington, D.C., put on by the CBWR, which is an acronym that applies to nothing, but it's the safety arm of the ACL-CIU. Okay, and the symposium was on suicide and substance use disorder in the construction industry. And if you haven't known, the construction industry is either number one or number two in substance use and suicide. It depends on the survey, when it was taken, and when it happened. There were company owners, doctors, we had OSHA there, we had NIOSH there, we had therapists, physicians, union leaders, 75 different people from all around the country, from coast to coast, and we threw a bunch of ideas on the wall, over 100 ideas on the wall. Boiled it down to, we need more data, we need more research, we need communication, beat down stigma, and then it was peer support. So this was in D.C. And it was there that I learned about the LEAN program in Boston, Massachusetts, started by the laborers. And it had been going on for 3 years. Okay? They kept it a pretty good secret. And so my takeaway, from that symposium was, I'm going to go back to St. Louis, introduce this to the welfare fund, and get this program going in St. Louis. I brought the idea back, but it took a lot of people and a lot of time to make this happen. They introduced it to the welfare board, and a year later, they finally had the final vote to do that, to make this program happen. We hired 2 peer specialists. We talked about liability, HIPAA law. Who are they going to work for? They're going to work for the union. Maybe we should have an industry peer support group for the entire construction industry in this market. Problem with that is the building trades are very private. A laborer is not going to listen to a carpenter trying to help them get peer support. We had to have a laborer with years of experience in the trade, working in the trade, with life experience of addiction and mental health issues. Okay? So we found those. We had attorneys, consultants, welfare consultants helping us with this program. But the biggest thing during that time, that discussion of that year, the overdoses kept happening. We had 2 suicides of one family in the Masons Association, in that contractor group. We had another suicide in the Masons Association. So this epidemic kind of helped push this program to fruition. Because if we kept doing the same thing, definition of insanity, we're getting the same results. So it was time to do something different. The Boston program was the first one in the country. St. Louis is the second. But as I said, I brought the idea home. And I have a list of people here that I want to thank. I'm going to start with the Board of Trustees. Brandon Flynn, District Council Business Manager, Labor Local 42. Matt Andrews is here tonight. You get to stand. Brian Watson, Local 42. And I want to put out a special mention to Rich McLaughlin, who is retired and was a big help in getting this program going. And he also had good experience in the Jose Gomez, Local 110, Rob Reed, Brad Wilfong. Special mention to Ronnie Griffin, Gary Elliott, they retired and off the board. So our board is 6 years. union leaders, 6 management, construction side, Corey Black, AGC, McCarthy, Dave Gillick, Director of the Masons Association, Mike Letts, AGC, Mike Shepard, Site Association, Bob Dave, Plumbing Association, Brad Grant, Mason Association, Diane Marburger, you get to stand. She's the Director of our welfare. This little project probably added 30% or 120% workload already. And next to Diana, Kathy Jager, Suzanne, welfare consultant, Sarah, and her co-partner, Chris Johnson, he's not here tonight. I mentioned John Gall. I want to thank son-in-law Ryan McKenna, just happens to be the lobbyist for St. Louis Community College, who introduced us to Jeff Pittman, the chancellor of St. Louis Community College, and Lori Hawkins, the dean of the medical school. They are instrumental in making this program happen. I'll speak more about St. Louis Community College later. Doug Swanson, UMSL Extension, and the founder of Recovery Friendly Workplace. Stand up, Nicole Dawsey and Jimmy Armbruster, Prevent Ed. Thank you. The Stookie family, you can all stand. Community family that helped the St. Louis recovery houses. And then I especially want to thank my son Matthew Willey, who passed on 6/29/2016 at 7:48. He was the cause of me to dig into the world of substance use disorder and mental health. And peers helping peers, because I met John Stuckey at Humphrey's house after Matt passed, and I grilled him relentlessly on what the hell goes on here and what do peers do and how does this work and how does it happen. And it just made so much sense to me from that conversation on that this is the way to save lives. We take the people that have lived the experience and help people pull out of the hole that is looking for recovery. So what's a peer for the laborers? Like I said, building trades are very tribal. We had to have somebody come out of the field that's been a laborer 10, 15, 20 years. Had to have somebody that's been in recovery 3 to 5 years. We had 3 candidates, 2 from 110, 1 from 42. They were all great candidates. Part of this is if we're going to take them out of the field, we've got to pay them the same union wages and benefits. And so, and these gentlemen work 24/7, 7 days a week. I said we had to have at least 2. They can't do the job by themselves. They need to work together and take care of their own mental health and their own needs, because we're sending the canary back in the mine to do the work, and we're sending them right into their own triggers. And so we're very mindful of their mental health, and what their status is, and how they're doing in doing this very important work. So the they have received hundreds of hours of training. And the biggest piece of this training is the community health worker, which is put on by St. Louis Community College. It's a 17-week course, basically 1 semester. They have $4,000 stipends if it's needed for the applicant. They have laptops, they have phones, for the applicants. It can be done online, at home, and in class. There are programs. They have a practicum they have to complete, a project in the community. Obviously, these guys already had that set up. But this program taught these guys how to deal with the medical community, billing, coding, HIPAA law, assessing treatment, assessing providers, our providers for our fund. This program gave them the power to these guys are changing the care in this town because the providers, these outpatient clinics and inpatient clinics for addiction and mental health are coming to them, asking them what they need to do to tweak their program to make it better. That's part of their job, of what they do. The other part of the job is to know the full range of services that our benefit plan has. The other part of the job is to, they do job site talks, they do talks like this to other groups. They facilitate members into recovery programs, follow them in the program, make sure they're getting the services they're supposed to get, tracking how to do it, and out of the program back to the job site. So we have 4,000 members in the fund, about 11,000, 12,000 belly buttons, so that's wives and kids. They're responsible for them too. They're responsible for the midnight calls, the 3 o'clock calls, all that stuff. And it's gotten, eating disorders, just mental health issues with teenagers, adolescents, all kinds of things. It's just going on and on. But their training has been extensive. There's been a LAP program out east, it's laborers assisted professionals. Obviously, they have the 30-hour peer support certificate from state of Missouri. But that's just enough to make it dangerous. Okay. This program that the community college puts on will elevate the status of peer support specialists. And what's different here is when they work for the laborers organization, or it might be the St. Louis Firemen or the St. Louis County Police Department, they're working for an organization representing our members. Okay, our fund of the 2 locals takes in revenue of $100 million a year, and we pay out medical bills about $75 million a year. So this training that they received from St. Louis Community College, them working for our organization, changes the whole power dynamic of what a peer support specialist does. Because now we have the vendors coming to Diane Marburger, asking how can we make this program better. We want to be we want to be approved by your insurance to get into this program. Typically, a peer support specialist, they'll work for a treatment center and they're bird dogging patients. And they're getting treated like shit, and they're not getting paid enough. And, it's true. Okay. Education and educating the peers to deal with the medical community and working for an organization that is representing employees, maybe it's Boeing, maybe it's a school district, whatever, changes the dynamic and changes the quality of treatment for everybody. And this is just the start of it. Their other duties is creating a network of support within the community. It might be 12-step groups, support groups, whatever it may be, putting people on job sites that are watching for the mental health of everybody on the job sites. They have to know treatment for the uninsured and the insured. We have a lot of members that don't work enough hours and they might become uninsured. So what are the facilities in this town for the uninsured? These guys are working their butts off. So with that, I want to introduce James Pursell.